In order to achieve your vision of your ideal future, you have to know where you're starting from. So, we're going to talk about that in this video. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I'm going to be talking about being honest with yourself about where you're starting from in order that you may achieve that long-term vision for your life of your ideal future. Let's jump right in. On this channel, we talk a lot about the future. We talk about our vision, our dreams, what we want our lives to look like, and how we can be intentional about achieving those dreams. If you've been following along with any of my videos, hopefully by now you've created some vision for your life. But now I want to talk about the practicals of moving towards that vision. One of the important first steps of crafting the plan on how to get to where you're going is to know clearly where you're starting from. This can be really hard to do if you're not used to being honest with yourself, if you're used to living in denial, and if you're used to always presenting a perfect, rosy picture about how great your life is. I want this video to be a challenge to you to take a look at the areas of your life where you may be avoiding looking at what reality is. A few years ago, my husband and I were in a very hard financial situation. We had no income at the time. We dug ourselves into a deep hole of credit card debt, and things were just a big mess. That was not the ideal financial future or lifestyle that we wanted to be living in. As we began to take steps to move ourselves out of that financial mess, we did start with vision. We knew where we wanted to be. We wanted to be living debt-free. We wanted to be able to give a certain amount of our income. We wanted to be able to live in our own place. We created some practicals, as hopefully you have done through our vision series on this channel. But the one thing that was really uncomfortable to do, that was absolutely necessary to begin to clean up our financial mess, was take a look at where we were at right then and there. So for us, that looked like using a Google spreadsheet, and listing out what were all of our debts. What were the credit cards that we had open? What were the balances on those cards? We had to take a look at what our monthly expenses were. We needed to know which credit card payments were happening, what other payments and required monthly expenses were going to be coming out of our bank account that month, and how we planned on covering those. It was a very uncomfortable conversation, and honestly, very kind of a rude wake-up call to be like, wow, this is how bad things really are. But let me tell you, knowledge is power, and knowing where you're starting from gives you power to begin to make different decisions that change the trajectory of where you're going towards. And so once we were empowered to know, okay, this is our situation, this is our reality, how do we begin to make these better decisions? What changes do we need to make? And how do we move towards our ideal financial future? When we became willing to have the uncomfortable conversations, we became knowledgeable about where we were starting from. And with that knowledge, we became empowered to move towards where we wanted to go. I hope you found this personal example helpful for you, but know that it's not restricted just to finances. I feel like you can apply this to any area of your life where you may be living in denial, or you may be avoiding having the hard conversations, or taking a hard look and getting a good reality check on where you're starting from in this present moment in a specific area for your life. Some other examples of where you could apply this to, I already shared about how you could apply it financially. Maybe an area for you could be time management. If you feel like you don't have enough time to do everything that you want to do, you should take a time inventory and you should look at where are you currently spending your time. I once had a leader share with me a tool, which was a spreadsheet of the time of the day, 24 hours broken up into 15-minute increments. And she said, you take this sheet and you record during a whole week's time period in blocks of 15 minutes where you're spending your time. And my goodness, let me tell you, you really begin to become aware of how much time you actually waste. And once you become aware of that, you become empowered to know, I actually have more time than I realized, and I could be spending this on pushing forward my goals and my dreams and my projects. And you begin to value that resource more, and you begin to steward it better. So time is another one. A third area that you could apply this to is your physical fitness goals, or your body goals, physical fitness, diet, health goals. There's a quote I like that says, "What gets measured grows." Or, for example, what gets measured and tracked, you see a positive increase on in that area, in that metric. So if you're a skinny twig, like my husband used to be, he knows what weight he started at, and he's been wanting to gain muscle mass. And he can now see his progress both physically, but he can also track that via the scale, and he's able to see, oh yes, I'm building this muscle because I can see my weight increasing. So what gets measured increases. That's a super positive thing. If you were trying to lose weight, for example, but not really weight, you just wanted to change your body composition, you have to know where you're starting at, and you want to track your progress as you go along. If you're doing that through different variety of measures, such as exercise or the type of nutrition and food that you're eating, you want to know, what is my current lifestyle? And you might just do this for an exercise for this video. Write a paragraph about where you're currently at. You can describe yourself, you can describe the situation that you're in, you can describe how you currently spend your time or how you currently spend your money. Start making a record of where you're at right now. Do a reality check, start keeping track, and be willing to be brutally honest with yourself and look at where you are at right now. Now, sometimes this can be a hard and dismal conversation with yourself or with your partner, but don't let that get you down. Let that be motivation for you, and let that be a drive and a fire in your bones to move forward and make that ideal future happen. If you don't like where you're at right now, take a look at it, understand where you're starting from, but then look at where you want to go, and let's begin to strategize about how you're going to get there. Well, that wraps up today's video. I hope you feel inspired to be willing to take a look at where you are at right now in specific areas of your life. And I hope that when you do that, you will begin to be empowered to make specific intentional decisions about what you want to change, what you want to do differently, and that you're empowered to move forward towards your ideal vision for your life. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when I post new videos, which is once every week. And I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Until then, have a great day.